Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
Today we're looking at something kind of different.
Yeah.
It's rituals and energy, but with a financial twist.
Yeah.
You guys sent in some really interesting stuff,
Yeah, for sure.
including this video that claims a simple ritual with just like kitchen ingredients can actually shift your financial reality.
Mm.
I mean, it sounds wild, right?
It really does pique your curiosity, I've got to say.
Right.
And you know what's really interesting is that this video, it kind of taps into something that you see in lots of cultures, like this belief that our homes,
Oh, yeah.
and especially bathrooms, can hold these energies that can affect us in a lot of ways.
Right, like it's almost saying that the bathroom can be this source of negative energy,
Yeah.
draining us financially, even emotionally.
Yeah. And you know, when you think about how many cultures have all these cleansing rituals for the bathroom,
Yeah.
it makes you wonder if there's something deeper going on there.
Absolutely. So how do we deal with this so-called energy blockage?
Yeah.
This video suggests a ritual using, get this, garlic and cloves. It's not your typical financial advice.
Right.
But I was thinking maybe there's a reason these ingredients show up in different spiritual practices.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, garlic, it's often seen as this protector. You know, it wards off negativity. And that's across different cultures. And cloves, on the other hand, they're associated with attracting abundance and prosperity.
Oh, interesting.
So this ritual kind of combines both, you know, you're cleansing and inviting positive energy all at once.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting. The ritual actually involves you writing down your debts on a garlic clove
Really?
and then flushing it away to symbolize releasing them.
Wow.
So what do you think about that symbolism? Is it just a way to visualize letting go, or is there something more to it?
It's definitely a striking image, right? It makes you think about how our thoughts and intentions can actually shape our reality. It's a concept you see in psychology and even quantum physics.
Yeah.
Now, whether that applies to your bank account specifically, well, that's debatable.
Right.
But it really does raise some interesting questions about the connection between our minds and the physical world.
For sure.
Yeah.
So you're saying that even if we can't prove our thoughts directly control our finances, just believing something like this garlic ritual could make us act in ways that actually do affect our money.
Yeah, exactly. Our beliefs shape our actions. I mean, think about it. If a ritual helps you see things more positively, or take more action with your money, or just make smarter decisions overall,
Right.
then yeah, it could indirectly make a difference in your financial well-being.
It's like setting yourself up for success.
Exactly.
If you believe it'll work, you're more likely to do the things that make it happen.
That's the idea. And the video really stresses this by saying, hey, you got to actually take steps towards your goals. It's not just about waiting for the universe to hand you money.
Right.
You have to make your actions match what you want.
So the real power isn't in the garlic itself.
Right.
It's in how it changes your thinking.
Exactly. It's about using these practices to empower yourself, to really tap into your own potential and take charge of your money.
It's interesting, as we're talking, I'm realizing a lot of this connects to wisdom from different cultures and traditions.
Oh, yeah.
Like the focus on cleanliness and order. That's something you see in a lot of philosophies.
Definitely. It's fascinating how these ideas show up across time and cultures.
It makes you wonder if there's this human need for harmony and balance within ourselves and in our surroundings.
Absolutely. And that applies to our finances, too.
Totally. Okay, so going back to the video, what are your thoughts on those stories people shared about improving their finances after the ritual?
Oh, yeah.
It's tempting to see it as proof that it works,
Sure.
but we have to be careful too, right?
We do. It's important to look at those stories critically. You know, they're inspiring and they show what belief can do.
Yeah.
But we can't just assume cause and effect, you know? Maybe they changed their money habits or got lucky.
Right. So we shouldn't ignore the stories, but we also shouldn't say the ritual is the only reason for their success.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between seeing the potential power of these rituals and not getting too caught up in magical thinking. You know,
Right.
like just doing a ritual will magically solve all your problems without any effort.
Yeah. It's more like using it to kickstart positive change.
Exactly.
But ultimately, we're the ones in control.
For sure. We create the life we want.
This conversation has really opened my eyes to how much goes into financial well-being.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers and plans. It's our mindset, our beliefs, even how we interact with our space.
That's right. It's all connected.
But before we go too far down that road,
Okay.
are there any other practical takeaways from the video we haven't covered yet?
Yeah, there's one more point I think is worth highlighting, and it's something we've been sort of dancing around this whole time.
Okay. I'm all ears.
The video ends on this really powerful note. It suggests that our homes are a reflection of our inner state.
So we're back to that connection between our inner and outer worlds.
Exactly.
So if our finances are a mess, maybe our homes are too.
That's the idea.
And to bring in more abundance, maybe we need to start by changing our surroundings.
Right. It's like a call to action. Look beyond just the ritual.
Yeah.
Think bigger.
It's not just about cleaning the bathroom. It's about creating a space that shows the financial abundance you want.
Exactly. You're being intentional with your environment.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not just about looks. It's about making it match your goals and what you want in life.
That's a really cool concept. So how do we actually do that? We talked about decluttering and keeping things clean.
Right.
But what else can we do to make our homes more welcoming to abundance?
Well, there are lots of ways, and a lot of it depends on what you like and what feels right for you.
Yeah.
Some people find it helpful to bring in elements from nature, like plants or crystals. Others might use colors or scents that they connect with prosperity and abundance.
It's like you're creating a visual reminder of your goals, surrounding yourself with things that represent what you want.
Exactly. And don't underestimate the power of symbolism.
Yeah.
Having meaningful objects in your home, things that symbolize abundance or success to you, can be powerful reminders of what you're aiming for.
Wow, this has been such a fascinating deep dive. It's not just about garlic and
There's
cloves.
so much more.
It's ancient beliefs,
Yeah,
the power of our minds, even a little bit of quantum physics.
that's right. It's amazing what you can learn from something that seems so simple at first glance.
Right. It just shows you that there's always more to discover, even in the everyday things we might not think twice about.
Absolutely.
Before we wrap up, though, I have one last thought-provoking question for our listeners.
Okay.
If our homes really do reflect our inner state, what small changes could you make in your environment today to bring in more abundance? What can you do to make your external world match your inner desires and goals? Something to think about as we finish our exploration today.
And remember the journey to financial well-being.
Yeah.
It's multifaceted.
Right.
Be open to new ideas, try different things, and ultimately take action to create the life you envision.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've learned something valuable and are feeling inspired to take charge of your financial journey.
Yeah.
Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
And may your homes and your lives be filled with abundance.
Welcome back. So before the break, we were really getting into this connection between what's going on around us and what's going on inside,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to finances.
absolutely.
It made me think, like, how often do we just miss those simple things, you know?
Yeah.
Like cleaning up or being grateful when we're trying to get ahead financially.
It's easy to get caught up in the big stuff like financial strategies and investments.
Right.
And forget about the basics. It reminds me of what we were talking about before.
Yeah.
The idea that what we think and believe can actually shape what happens to us.
Yeah, that's right. We touched on quantum physics earlier. I got to admit, I'm still a little skeptical about that whole thing.
Yeah.
How does quantum physics, which is like about the tiniest particles,
Right.
relate to something as real as money?
It's definitely complicated, and even scientists don't all agree on what it means.
Right.
But basically, some physicists think that just by observing something or intending for something to happen, we can actually change how particles behave at the quantum level. Now, whether that directly affects our bank accounts, that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
But it does make you wonder about how our minds and the physical world are connected.
So you're saying that even if we can't prove our thoughts directly control our money, just believing in something like that garlic ritual could lead us to act in ways that actually do affect our finances.
Yeah, exactly. It all comes back to beliefs influencing actions.
Okay.
If you think about it, if a ritual, or any practice for that matter, helps you have a more positive outlook, be more proactive with your money, or even just make better decisions,
Right.
then it could indirectly lead to a better financial situation.
So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah,
If you believe it will work, you're more likely to take the steps to make it happen.
exactly. And that's a big part of what the video is saying. It's emphasizing that you have to take real concrete steps towards your goals. Don't just wait for the universe to shower you with abundance.
Right.
You have to align your actions with your intentions.
So it's not about the ritual being magic.
Yeah.
It's about the shift in thinking that it causes.
Yeah, I think that's a key takeaway. It's about using these practices as tools to empower ourselves to tap into our own potential and really take control of our financial journey.
You know, as we're talking, I'm realizing A lot of these ideas kind of echo wisdom from different cultures and traditions.
Oh, for sure.
Like that emphasis on cleanliness and order. That's a common theme in a lot of different philosophies.
Absolutely. It really points to this universal human desire for harmony and balance, both within ourselves and in our environment.
Yeah, and that includes our financial lives too.
Definitely.
Thinking back to the video, I'm curious about those stories people shared, about how their finances improved after doing the ritual.
Yeah,
It's easy to want to believe those stories are proof that the ritual works.
for sure.
But we got to be realistic too, right?
Absolutely. You know, it's important to look at those anecdotes with a critical eye. They're inspiring and they give us a glimpse into how powerful belief can be.
Yeah,
But we can't just assume that the ritual was the only reason for their success.
right. There could be a lot of other factors involved.
Exactly. Maybe they changed their financial habits or just got lucky.
So we shouldn't dismiss those stories completely,
No.
but we should also be careful about saying the ritual is the only reason they got those results.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance,
Yeah.
acknowledging the potential influence of rituals,
No.
but also staying grounded in reality.
Right. We don't want to fall into that magical thinking trap.
Right.
Like doing a ritual is all it takes to solve all our problems without any effort.
Exactly. It's more about using these practices as a starting point for making positive changes.
Right.
But ultimately, we're the ones responsible for creating the life we want.
That's a great way to put it. It's about empowerment, not just relying on something outside ourselves.
Exactly.
This conversation has really made me see how complex financial well-being is.
Yeah.
It's not just about numbers and plans.
Yeah.
It's about our mindset, our beliefs, how we interact with our environment.
It's all intertwined.
Okay, so before we go too deep down this rabbit hole,
Okay.
are there any other practical things we can take away from the video that we haven't talked about yet?
Yeah. There is one more point I'd like to highlight, and it's something we've been circling around this whole time.
Okay, I'm all ears.
The video ends with this really powerful message, and it's something to really think about as you're on your own journey with finances. It suggests that our homes are like a mirror of what's going on inside us.
Oh, so it's tying back to that connection between our inner and outer worlds. Like if our finances feel out of control, maybe our living spaces are reflecting that.
Exactly. And if we're looking to bring in more abundance, maybe we need to shake things up in our surroundings.
That's a really interesting way to put it. It's like a call to action to go beyond just the ritual itself.
Yeah,
And think bigger picture.
for sure.
It's not about just cleaning the bathroom. It's about making your space a reflection of the financial abundance you want in your life.
Exactly. It's about being intentional with your environment. It's not just about making it look nice. It's about aligning it with your goals and aspirations.
I love that.
Yeah.
So what are some things we can actually do? We've talked about decluttering and keeping things clean.
Right.
But what are some other ways to shift the energy in our homes to be more open to abundance?
Well, there are lots of different approaches, and what works best really depends on what you connect with personally.
Yeah.
Some people find it helpful to bring in elements of nature, like plants or crystals. Others might use certain colors or scents that they associate with prosperity and abundance.
It's like you're creating a visual representation of your goals, surrounding yourself with things that remind you of what you're working towards.
Exactly. And don't forget about symbolism.
Yeah?
Having meaningful objects in your home, things that represent abundance or success to you, they can act as powerful reminders of your intentions.
This deep dive has been so fascinating. We've explored so much.
We really have.
From ancient beliefs to the power of our minds, we even touched on quantum physics. It's amazing how much there is to learn from something as simple as a ritual with garlic and cloves.
It really shows you that there's always more to discover, even in the everyday things we might overlook.
Absolutely.
Oh.
So before we wrap things up, I have one final thought-provoking question for our listeners.
Okay.
If our homes really do reflect our inner state, what small changes could you make today to invite more abundance into your life? What steps can you take to make your external world match your inner desires and goals? It's something to consider as we finish up our exploration today.
And remember the journey towards financial well-being. It's a complex one. Be open to new ideas, try different approaches, and most importantly, take action to create the life you want.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've gained some valuable insights and are feeling inspired to take charge of your financial journey. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.
And may your homes and your lives be filled with abundance.